She didn't regret losing you when it ended. She regrets it now. And if you're doing what most men do after a breakup, checking her social media, staying available, making sure she knows you're still there, you are accidentally making sure that regret never arrives at all. The Stoics had a name for what you're doing. They called it chasing your own exile. And in the next minutes, you're going to understand exactly why she doesn't miss what she can still have. And what the most dangerous thing you can do right now actually is. Not for her, for you. Being taken for granted is not about being disrespected. It's quieter than that, and more precise. It happens when your presence stops having contrast. At the beginning of the relationship, your attention was valuable because it wasn't assumed. When you pulled back, she noticed. When you leaned in, she felt it. When you were upset, it created a reaction. Your presence affected her behavior. But over time, something shifted. Not because you became less valuable, but because you became predictable. Neuroscientists call this neural habituation. The brain's automatic tendency to stop registering stimuli that appear consistently and without variation. In simple terms, what is always available stops being noticed. You didn't lose her attention because you failed. You lost it because you removed uncertainty. And uncertainty, not cruelty, not distance, not games, but genuine uncertainty, is what keeps emotional attention active. Marcus Aurelius understood this about power. Confine yourself to the present, not the relationship you built, not the history you share, not what she used to feel. The present signal, the present contrast, the present version of you. When you stopped being a present signal and became a permanent fixture, her brain filed you under guaranteed and moved her attention elsewhere, without her even deciding to. That's not cruelty. That's neuroscience. When the relationship ended, you expected her to feel the loss immediately. She seemed calm, distant, maybe even relieved, and that confused you more than the breakup itself. Here is what actually happened. Her grieving didn't start when it ended. It started months before. Psychologists call this anticipatory grief, the emotional processing that happens before a loss is made official. By the time she walked away, she had already replayed every argument, already noticed every pattern, already detached, slowly, quietly, internally, over weeks and sometimes months. The breakup was not the beginning of her loss. It was the conclusion of a process she had already been living through alone. This is why she seemed lighter after it ended. Not because she didn't care, but because she had already carried the weight while you were still in the relationship, while you were still trying to fix things, while you still believed everything was fine. Epictetus wrote, "Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish, but wish the things which happen to be as they are, and you will have a tranquil flow of life." She had already made peace with the loss before you knew there was one. And here is the part that matters most. Right after the breakup, even with no contact, her brain doesn't register permanent loss. There is still a feeling of optional access. She believes she could reach out if she wanted to, and the brain cannot miss what it still believes it can have. Regret requires two things: real distance and real contrast. Without both, there is nothing to regret. Your regret hit the moment it ended. Hers hasn't arrived yet. This asymmetry is not a sign that she cared less. It is a sign that you processed differently. Research on attachment and loss published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, shows that men and women process romantic loss at completely different times. Women process loss before it happens. Men process loss after it happens. During the relationship, you are focused on maintaining stability, avoiding conflict, assuming things would work themselves out. Once the relationship ended, every moment you postponed thinking about came flooding back at once. The conversations you didn't have, the standards you didn't hold, the moments you stayed quiet when you should have led. Men regret inaction more than wrong action. What you didn't say, what you didn't require, when you failed to remain yourself instead of becoming what the relationship demanded. When the relationship ends, those missed moments feel final. There's no longer a chance to correct them. The Stoics had a practice for this. Memento mori, remember you will die, was not about death. It was about presence. The Stoic who lives with awareness of impermanence does not postpone, does not assume, does not wait for later to say what matters. The regret you feel now is the price of the moments you chose, comfort over clarity. The question is what you do with it. Here is the hardest truth in this video. She may already regret it, and she still won't come back. Regret and return are two completely separate things, and confusing them is what keeps most men waiting for something that may never arrive. A woman can clearly recognize that she undervalued what she had, and still decide not to return. There are 3 reasons why. The first is identity protection. Coming back requires admitting, not just privately, but openly, that leaving may have been a mistake. For many women, that admission threatens their self-image. It forces them to confront that their own judgment was wrong. Protecting that identity can feel more important than reopening the connection. The second is the fear of being wrong twice. Even if she wants to return, what if it fails again? The emotional cost of that possibility can outweigh the pull of what she lost. In that case, regret becomes a lesson, not a motivator. The third is timing. By the time regret arrives, and for some women it takes months or even years, she has already built a life that doesn't include you. The emotional momentum has moved on. Even with clarity about the loss, she may no longer feel equipped to re-engage. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." The man who waits for her regret to become action is the man who surrenders his present to her timeline. The man who becomes, regardless of what she decides, is the man whose absence she will measure for years. After being taken for granted, the most dangerous move you can make is to react from emotion, chasing harder, going cold to punish, staying available just in case. All of these come from the same place, an attempt to restore lost value through reaction, and none of them work. The Stoic response is different, and it is not about strategy. It is about understanding. The first shift, silence as space, not punishment, not silence to make her miss you, silence because your presence needs room to breathe. When you remove guaranteed access, not dramatically, not with announcements, but simply by living your life with direction, the emotional equation resets. Her brain can now register your absence as something real, something that actually happened, something that cannot be taken back with a single text. Epictetus said, "First learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak. First create the distance that makes meaning possible, then let your presence speak for itself." The second shift, Standards without speeches. Men often announce their boundaries after being taken for granted. They explain what they will no longer accept. They describe the new version of themselves. This almost always backfires. Standards are not speeches. They are filters. Let her behavior determine your availability. Let her effort determine your engagement. Not with arguments, not with explanations, with calm, consistent action. The third shift, redirect from her reaction to your identity. After being taken for granted, most men fixate on one question: will she regret it? That question keeps your worth tied to her response. The Stoic question is different. Am I becoming the man whose absence is worth regretting? That question is entirely in your control. Her answer is not. And the man who focuses on what is in his control, who builds, grows, and moves forward with or without her validation, is the man whose memory she will carry longer than she expected to. She didn't regret it when it ended, but the conditions for regret, real distance, real contrast, real absence, those are being created right now. Not by waiting, not by watching, not by staying available, by becoming. Seneca wrote, "Retire into yourself as much as you can. Associate with those who will make a better man of you." The man who turns inward after loss, who uses the pain as material instead of a prison, that man becomes something she didn't account for when she decided he was guaranteed. And guaranteed men are never the ones she regrets losing, but the man who disappeared and came back different. That man she thinks about. The question is not whether she will regret it. The question is whether you will use this time to become the man whose absence is actually worth regretting. Tell me in the comments, what is the one thing you are building right now that has nothing to do with her? Because that answer is the only one that matters. Stay stoic.